Now at 4:30 this morning, police are searching for a suspect after a hotel robbery. And officers say it is similar to another robbery in the city that happened yesterday morning.
A committee is set to meet today to discuss the fate of the Jefferson Davis statue that now sits in the state's Capitol Rotunda.
Also this morning, how a dog attack that left a woman with serious injuries could lead to some changes in an ordinance in a central Kentucky county.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning to you and welcome in. It's your Wednesday, August 5th on WKYT. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Rebecca Smith. Rounds of storms expected to develop today. Those storms could be strong enough to cause high water issues.
Heard some thunder in the overnight hours. We have declared a WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day to keep you informed about it all. And let's go to meteorologist Micah Harris in our First Alert Weather Center.
Yeah, we have that First Alert Severe Weather Day, not because of severe storms in terms of damaging winds or large hail or anything like that. It's actually for the opposite end of the spectrum. Flash flood, we really need to be watching that because we're under a flash flood watch anywhere from 1 to 2 inches, which, look, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's actually just enough to put down some flash flood warnings across the region. So watch out for high water issues. This goes into effect this evening. It's not right now, but it's this evening through tomorrow night. That's when the bulk of it slides on in. There's really nothing going on this morning. Temperatures are there in the 60s. Actually feels quite nice outside. And then we look forward to today's forecast there in the mid 80s. Few storms will be with us, especially late in the day. I'll get into that and show you who could expect the most rain coming up.
All right, a lot to keep our eyes on. Thank you very much. We're tracking a developing story out of Knox County this morning. That's where Barberville City Police tell us a man has been stabbed to death.
Officers were called out to the scene around 4 p.m. in the Dogtown community yesterday. They say they found 38-year-old Don Woolham Jr. lying in the side of the road, bleeding from a stab wound. Woolham died at Knox County Hospital. Police say 34-year-old Jessica Hubbard stabbed Woolham during an argument. She was taken to the hospital and treated for minor injuries. She's behind bars this morning and charged with murder. Well, new this morning, a man was arrested after police say he tied up his ex-girlfriend and carved words into her skin. 35-year-old Robert Patton was arrested yesterday. He's charged with assault and unlawful imprisonment. According to court documents, Patton's girlfriend tried to end their relationship when he assaulted her. Officers say he kept her at his home for hours, punched her, and scratched letters into her back. She was able to run for help and was taken to the hospital. Patton is scheduled to be arraigned today.
We're tracking a crime alert in Lexington this morning. Police are investigating a robbery at a hotel in the Hamburg area. Lexington police were called to the Sleep Inn on Plotted Place around 10 p.m. Police say a woman walked in and showed a gun and demanded money. They're still looking for her this morning. Police have a limited description of the robber. They say she was wearing casual clothing and flip-flops. They say this robbery is similar to a robbery at a Comfort Inn off Winchester Road early yesterday morning. This morning, AT&T customers are able to make calls and receive calls and text messages on their cell phones again, but for hours, a major phone outage in the southeast kept those phones silent.
Yeah, it may have said no service. I know that's what my phone was saying. Most of those affected in the Lexington area were AT&T customers, but elsewhere, other carriers were affected also. Thousands of customers in multiple cities were without service for part of the day. So what caused the problem? Garrett Weimer explains.
It didn't take long for things to get testy.
No service for about 2 hours now.
It would only get worse.
I was pretty aggravated a moment ago.
An AT&T spokesperson says engineers found a hardware-related problem that took out cellular and landline services. Kentucky Emergency Management says a fiber line was cut in western Kentucky near the Tennessee border.
You can't call nobody. I tried it.
Down Detector also showed reports of other carriers, including Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint, experiencing outages in some parts of the state.
Okay, so when I walked in, there was a slew of people. Everybody has the same problem. No service.
The outage brought a lot of customers with questions to AT&T stores across the city and no doubt across the state.
I feel sorry for the girl working the door.
And I told my husband, I'm coming up here because, well, I've got heart problems and I need my phone working.
And folks weren't just flocking to the stores searching for answers. AT&T's Twitter was inundated. They told customers they were, quote, working toward a solution.
Need my phone. Need to communicate.
Service started to return shortly after 7:30, but for several hours, the quiet caused some chaos.
Technology's big. I mean, it goes out and it just disrupts everything.
Oh, we're helpless these days. I don't know what'll happen if we ever lose all this stuff and go back like it used to be.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
Well, the outage seemed to be centered mainly in Kentucky and Tennessee, although there were also reports of outages in Indiana and Alabama.
A brutal attack involving a pack of dogs could lead to some changes in Lincoln County. The county attorney there tells us that he wants to make the county's dog ordinance tougher. It comes a little more than a week after a woman was attacked by 7 dogs outside her home. Our Monique Blair talked to the Lincoln County attorney about his proposal.
Right now, the Lincoln County dog ordinance basically requires people to keep their pets under control. But County Attorney Darrell Day says he is working on drafting some changes he hopes can be made to the current law.
We're going to require stronger kennels. We're going to, hopefully, the physical court will pass that we will have inspection powers over those kennels.
The changes would also include limiting the number of certain breeds of dogs citizens have, and in turn keeping track of who has those dogs.
A lot of it is based on large dogs. Obviously, the smaller the dog is that comes after you, the easier it is to defend it off.
This is the home here where 7 Presa Canarios were housed before they escaped from those kennels you see behind me and then attacked a woman here in Lincoln County. And it was because of that attack that prompted these changes to the law.
In this situation with the lady who got attacked, we've never had any reports of those dogs biting anyone. But then when they come up on someone else that they don't recognize as their master, then suddenly we have these problems.
Day says one fear some people have is that he is going to try and outlaw certain breeds of dogs such as pit bulls or Presa Canarios. But he says for now that is not the case.
We are not going that step right now, although a lot of cities and some counties in Kentucky have. We're not outlawing those dogs. What we're saying is you can have them, but we have a duty to make sure that every citizen in the county is safe.
In Lincoln County, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And Day is hoping to have that ordinance drafted in a way so that it's ready for a vote by mid-September. It will have to pass 2 readings in the fiscal court.
Well, police are trying to track down a Laurel County man now charged in connection to a crash that killed 6 people in Tennessee. A Hamilton County, Tennessee grand jury indicted 39-year-old Benjamin Brewer on 6 counts of vehicular homicide. Police say in June, Brewer's tractor-trailer crashed into 8 cars on Interstate 75 in Chattanooga. They say he was driving under the influence. Investigators say Brewer had been on duty for 50 hours in the 3 days before the crash. They say he tested positive for meth 6 weeks earlier. A hearing will continue today in the case of a mother accused of killing her son by giving him too much vinegar. Lexington police charged Dia Adams with reckless homicide. Her son Joseph died in 2011, was 5 years old at the time. He was born with an intestinal disease. The defense is trying to block the testimony from the medical examiner who performed Joseph's autopsy.
I believe his cause of death is, and I still hold to this, and it's metabolic acidosis with cellular necrosis of mucosal linings. What that is the death of the cells of the small bowel and portion of the large bowel due to forced ingestion of vinegar.
Well, she also testified that she found cuts and bruises on Joseph's body. She thinks that points to his mother forcing him to drink 2 or more doses of vinegar even after he started to fight back. The defense argues that vinegar did not cause the boy's death.
The time is 4:39 on WKYT this morning, and Kentucky Senator and presidential candidate Rand Paul made the cut for this week's Republican presidential debate. Fox News selected the 10 candidates for the debate that it is organizing that will be held Thursday in Cleveland. Donald Trump, Jeb Bush, Scott Walker, Mike Huckabee, Ben Carson, Senator Ted Cruz, Senator Marco Rubio, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and Ohio Governor John Kasich were all selected. The remaining candidates will take part in another debate hours before the main event. And later today, a committee is meeting to discuss what to do about the Jefferson Davis statue. Right now, that statue is located in the Capitol Rotunda. Davis was the president of the Confederacy. According to our latest Bluegrass poll results, 73% of Kentuckians think the statue should stay in the Capitol Rotunda. 17% think it should be removed. The committee will meet at 1 o'clock this afternoon at Berry Mansion. All right, WKYT this morning just getting started on your Wednesday, and we're glad you're along with us.
Smartphones, tablets, computers, they're a part of our everyday lives, but they can also take over. Mom's Everyday explains how to establish some household media rules when we return.
And we're looking pretty dry this morning, but as we get off into the afternoon and evening hours, here come some more storms, and that will be the start of a very active 24 hours. I'll show you that coming up in your forecast next.